Good afternoon, everyone. So, one of my favorite bloggers, Mr. Thomas and me, she is doing NaNoWriMo like I am, and she linked up with a couple other blogs to talk about NaNoWriMo, and I figured that would be a fun idea to do instead of my typical um, weekly check-in on NaNoWriMo. I thought maybe doing a vlog just to kind of talk about the novel, link up with some other blogs, and she had done a vlog, and you don't have to do a vlog, but I just thought it would be fun because I've been just really into videoing lately. Maybe it's because I'm writing like a crazy person this month. But yeah, ooh, excuse me, I burped a little bit. Blah. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about NaNoWriMo today. And I could talk about whatever I wanted, but I really liked the questions that my friend had on her blog. And so I will leave all the links down below. If you are watching via YouTube, all the links will be in the doobly doo. If you are watching on my blog, all of the links and all that stuff will be in the blog post itself. So here we go. So what is my elevator pitch for my NaNoWriMo novel? Basically, if I were sitting in an elevator with people and I was stuck with you for like 50 floors and I could just talk to you about my novel as much as I wanted, what would I say? So basically, my novel is about this girl. She's my age, because I figured that would just be easier, who is on Broadway. She's a Broadway star, and she's doing this one night concert. And it's her, and then she recruited some of her closest friends and other people that she's worked with on stage. And every song in the concert goes back to something in her life. It's an important song that, whether from her childhood or an important moment in her life, or something that she thinks is important in her life. Um, and so it was inspired by Aaron Tveit. He did a concert kind of like this a year or so ago. And he did it at Studio 54. And just like all the songs that he did was something important. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to write a novel about it. But then I decided to add a little bit of a twist. And she has the same bone condition that I do. She has osteogenesis imperfecta. But my goal for it is that her OI, what the shortened name for it, isn't a massive part of the story. Because I remember I just have noticed that there's a really big lack of stories of people with disabilities, but like realistic ones where like their entire story and their entire life doesn't revolve around their disability. Their disability just happens to be a part of who they are. And so I thought that maybe this would be kind of a cool way to put that into the story so that it's definitely in there and it's part of it because it's part of who she is, but it's not the main focus because, I mean, even with Fault in Our Stars, while the characters themselves aren't defined by having cancer, the book is still about having cancer. So I wanted to have a book with a character with a disability where it's not about the disability. If that makes any sense at all. That's what I'm trying to do. So it'll be really interesting. It's been an interesting journey so far. The next question is, what is my writing process? My writing process has been a little bit different than usual this year. I usually am a crazy planner. I have everything all plotted out, or at least somewhat outlined, and I know where it's going. Going into November this year, that didn't happen. I don't know what happened. Like, I could not, I couldn't get an outline together. I have a bit of an outline now, which is super exciting. I have a general idea of where the story is going and what order things will happen in. But a lot of it is still going by the seat of my pants, which is interesting. A lot of times I have to daydream about a scene for a while. Like throughout the day, I'll be like thinking about it, driving in my car, thinking about it. And then after I daydreamed about it enough, then I can actually sit and write it down. And then it kind of just goes from there. And I get a bunch of other scenes after that scene that I've been daydreaming about. Depending on how it turns out, I see where it needs to go. Um, I do a lot of pacing around the house. Like, I kind of just like make this like line from like the kitchen to my room to the bathroom, and I kind of make a circle around the house as I'm thinking about what I'm gonna write, and I kind of just make my brain go. And I've also been starting all of my writing sessions by listening to the NaNoWriMo song. It was Christina Horner's band, All Caps, wrote it several years ago for NaNoWriMo, and it is definitely the song that gets me going to write, and I've listened to that. But then I also, because so much of the story is based on music, I have a playlist of all of these songs that have inspired my story, whether they're actually in the book or not. I have a whole list of songs that are inspiring me to write and all of that, which has been super fun. And yeah, I use Scrivener to write because it helps me in an outline, have all my characters organized and my scenes organized, my places organized, and I love Scrivener. It is the best, and it can track my writing progress for each day, and it's awesome. But I think I've kind of fallen behind. I didn't write a single word yesterday, and I'm freaking out about it because I really want to be ahead because I'm going to be out of town this weekend, and I don't know how much writing I'm going to get done. So I might end up using Google Drive for a bit, so that way I can write on my iPad and not have to lug my laptop with me everywhere, and I can get some writing done, and that way it's just already there on my laptop when I'm ready to go, and I just have to copy and paste it into Scrivener when I'm ready to do it. So there's that. Next question is, what has surprised me? Well, I think what surprised me is my lack of planning, which has been freaking me out. But I think that's like how I've still been able to do it in spite of my lack of planning. Like, I can still daydream and think about, let the story evolve and have a point. I don't really have a whole overarching theme yet, but I think it's one of those things that's going to show as I write the story. It's going to reveal itself as I write, which will be really cool. And I'm excited to see where it goes. It'll be a really good time. Also, what has surprised me is how little I remember of high school, because a part of the story takes place when she was in high school, and she's my age, and so I've been trying to think back to like the year like 2000 and 2001, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what did we wear? What music did I listen to? I don't know why I can't remember these things. So that's been really surprising how little I remember from that time period. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. And then the last question is, what have I learned about myself? I am learning so much about myself. Well, there's the whole, I have a lack of memory from my past. Um, but it's been fun going back to that time period in my life. I've been pulling out my old yearbooks and my old photo albums from high school, and oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And then also embarrassing, because I'm like, oh wow, why did I wear that? Why did I look like that? And I'm probably gonna look back at this video and think that too, because this is a mess. I just came back from working with preschoolers, and so everything is crazy. My hair is all over the place. That's what happens when you hang out with like 2 to 4 year olds for all day. It's crazy. Yeah, anyway, so I've learned about my past, and also just like so much of it, I really thought that getting into the disability stuff was going to be an interesting journey for me to talk about it, because I usually don't. It's not a thing that I usually talk about, not because I'm ashamed of it. It's just, I just don't talk about it. It just doesn't come to my mind. So I thought that would be difficult, but it's not. And it's actually, because some of the relationships in the story are inspired by relationships I've had, and that has been a really interesting roller coaster of just figuring out. It's been a lot of soul searching with that. A lot of times I have to go on Tumblr for a while and kind of recover, because that's just been really crazy. But I've also been enjoying it because it's helping me sort out my own feelings and figure out where I am with it, which will be cool. And like, where my story is at the moment, it's really tough because it's just kind of like opening up old wounds. But that makes the writing fresh, and I'm really living in that moment and writing how I felt at that moment, which has been awesome. And so I'm hoping as the story goes on and the different problems resolve, I'll be able to put together how I was able to resolve different issues in the past. And so I think that'll be really cool. And all my stories tend to be this way. Like this isn't just a specific one to this story. All of my stories, somehow there's some part of me in it. My novel last year, while it was about fighting vampires and demons and all of those things, which is nothing like my life, um, a lot of the themes were still things that I personally was going through at the moment. So as the characters were dealing with issues, I was dealing with them as well. And so all of my novels are like that to an extent. And I think most people's writing is because we can't really draw from other experiences other than our own. So in a sense, all writing is autobiographical. So yeah, so that's how NaNoWriMo is for me so far. Again, I will put all the links below, so if you want to link up, you can. Please let me know in the comments how you're doing on NaNoWriMo, what your thoughts are on my story or on your story. And we made it basically almost through week 2, which is super exciting. And I will see you later. And for those of you who don't do NaNoWriMo and are tired of me talking about it, I'm so sorry. Hopefully on the blog tomorrow, I will do an actual life update and let you know about other things that are not NaNoWriMo and how all of that is. So yeah, I will see you later. Bye.